My God, midshipmen can be useful for something after all.
With that comment, General, Naval Academy class.
Oh, as I was saying, they are so useful, aren't they?
That's the 1970. Education is very important in your life, and education, Veterans Conference. Benefit is of having all these young people. What can be done more in society? I think education, both in the military and in society in general. What do you think benefit and what can be done more around the country?
Well, if you really think about, the most important aspects, I think, of America in general, and if you think about how do you preserve this extraordinary country and all it has been for all these years, a country in which initiative and innovativeness are rewarded and fostered and seem to spring up. A country in which for all of our challenges, there's still vastly more inventions and all the rest. And there's something special about our system, I think. And, Warren Buffett, I saw him, actually, we were out at something, and Warren Buffett said, never bet against America. And I think it's because that system is so special. There's something that, our creators got enormously right. And what keeps that going is education, without question. Education of all types, certainly the humanities, science, technology, and all of the rest. And I think that investments in education are critically important, state the obvious, to the future of our country and to maintaining our position in the world and the global economy and all the rest of that. I was actually out at the Air Force Academy the other day, and happily I was able to leave before Army had to play Air Force and football out there. Although they were in the game for a couple of quarters pretty well. But I was privileged to speak to the junior and senior cadet classes out there and gave a presentation in which basically I talked about, hey, what can you do to really develop yourself even further? Okay, you're getting a fantastic education out here. You're getting a lot of leadership experiences, all the rest of that. And among the suggestions I offered were to do off-the-wall things and to seek out of their intellectual comfort zone experiences. What graduate school for me was more than anything else was just that, an out of my intellectual comfort zone experience. I went from the U.S. Army Command and General Staff College, where you heard I'd stumbled to the first position there somehow or other, and I'd published some articles, thought I sort of communicated reasonably well and so forth, and thought we had big debates out there at Fort Leavenworth. But it turned out in the grand scheme of, intellectual discussions, our debates were about in here, and you go to graduate school and, you get debates like this. And that is a very salutary experience, because the fact is that when you go beyond our shores, even within our shores, people just don't think necessarily the same way as we do. And for those in uniform, we have to be very careful not to be trapped in what we might call the military grindstone cloister syndrome. This is a situation we live to a degree, a cloistered existence, often with our fellow men and women in uniform. And we have our nose to the grindstone and don't always look up as often as we might. Again, as General Galvin encouraged, try to look beyond the max effective range of your weapon. And in fact, that's why I went to graduate school. And it did indeed broaden my horizons, and it did indeed challenge me enormously. I think those kinds of experience are hugely important, particularly to those in uniform, and by the way, particularly to those who go to our military academies. I am a big believer in our military academies and all that they represent, not just to our military services, but to our country, all that they foster in society at large and all the rest of that. But I think the cadets, the midshipmen, prosper when they can get experiences that take them outside those existences, in addition to all that they take from what goes on inside it. So again, education is the key. I wouldn't say that, the more of it is always great. We do want our daughter to get a job someday, And so, no, I'm just joking. We have a wonderful daughter, and she is getting ready to go to graduate school. But, I mean, you know, the national bank of mom and dad does have to run out sometime. In truth, I think, again, I cannot say enough about the value of that to our country and to our society as a whole.
These questions have been so excellent and elicited such. I want to say how much of a treat it's been. Same with all of you, but and we'll prime you all for one final chance to thank the general.
Thank you very much, General Petraeus and Dr. O'Hanlon. A truly superb, impressive discussion. So impressive, in fact, that one of our donors came up to me and said he's going to give us some more money. So I have reasons on many levels to be thankful to you, gentlemen.
Don't tell my lawyer.
Before I close this out formally, I'd like to recognize 5 young American heroes who have served with great distinction in Iraq and helped General Petraeus get the job done there. And we have 2 more joining us tomorrow. I'll read your names out, and then if you would stand, and let's give them a round of applause.
Even better, could they come on down, because I got a coin for them.
Okay. First Sergeant Don Brazil, United States Marine Corps, recipient of the Bronze Star with Valor. Captain Brian Jackson, United States Army, recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross.
Semper Fidelis.
Sergeant First Class Ed Malone, United States Army, recipient of the Bronze Star with Valor.
Thank you very much.
Sergeant Marco Martinez, United States Marine Corps, recipient of the Navy Cross.
Brave rifle.
And Lieutenant James Zumwalt, United States Navy, recipient of the Navy Commendation Medal with Valor. I should mention that Lieutenant Zumwalt is officer in charge of an explosive ordnance disposal squad. He's completed 1 tour of duty in Iraq and is shipping out in January for Afghanistan. Let's give them a round of applause. Again, Dr. O'Hanlon, thank you for serving as our moderator, and more especially for the ongoing trenchant analysis that you have done and continue to do on Iraq, Afghanistan, and strategic policy in general. And General Petraeus, thank you once more for being here with us today, but more than that, for the great service that you have rendered to our country.
Thank you very much. Great to see you. Sure.